So today I want to talk about why the American dream is a delusion. The American dream, you get a house, you get a cottage, you have a few vehicles, you save up enough money to retire so that you can have the last half of your years in peace. Why is that a delusion? Well, in life and history shows that if you don't keep fighting, if you don't keep maintaining, then things fall apart, and that is what we're seeing in the Western society right now. Everybody is living in a delusion where they think, oh, everything's going to be okay, but no, it's not. As we see now, our politicians seem to have totally lost their minds. With the coronavirus, we see that most people have lost their minds. How can one little virus shut down the whole world? Well, we need to keep fighting. One virus that shuts down the whole world. Why didn't they have any record of how many people died of heart disease and how many people died of cancer and all that? No, it's just corona. That is ridiculous, and everybody fell for it. And now the governments are getting sued because of misinformation and lying to people. And so just that is one example of why we need to keep fighting. We cannot live the American dream. We cannot not just sit on our laurels. We accomplish a few things in our life and just sit back and relax. No, that's not how it works. Take Moses, for example. At 80 years old, he took on the biggest challenge of his life. The same as Joshua and Caleb. 85 years old, he took on a mountain. And the same with Daniel. At around that same age, he was cast into the lion's den. No, we need to keep fighting. We cannot sit on our laurels, on our blessings and all that, and think everything's going to be okay. No, that's not going to work. We're right now in the middle of what I'd say is a perfect setup for the Antichrist to take over. There's, I think, one component missing. Actually, two, I guess, if you consider it's not God's timing. That is, if it's not God's timing. Okay, the COVID-19 has proven that we can take the whole world into captivity, into slavery. If everybody, all the media outlets, all the governments do the same thing, and it has proven that is possible. The governments, they're not the men and women, the mighty men and women of the days gone by. No, these are puppets that will roll over for any nickel and dime thing that someone wants to push them, or just to look good or keep their reputation. So we've seen all over the world that the governments and many people are ready for the Antichrist to come. All he's got to do is come, make himself available, show that he has fortitude and wisdom and planning and economics to support him. That's one thing. But one thing that is missing is the financial thing. It says in the Bible that the Antichrist will have the power of stopping people from buying and selling. The Antichrist will have that power. So what does that mean? That means the paper money has to be gone, and something like electronic credit system has to be set up, and the government totally controlled over it. I don't think we're set up for that. I know that China is working towards that. It's going to work on a credit, just like communism has worked on a credit system for many years. That is kind of missing, but I don't think it'll take many years for that to be set up. Another thing that has proven in the last year or two is the peace treaty that Trump has signed. Just before the election, Trump signed a peace treaty with the Muslims and with Israel. That is a historic event, and that is important because it shows that most Muslim nations would rather have peace and live with peace with Israel than be at war. Iran, I think, will never ever come to that, but it's a very profound thing that happened. And just before the election, President Trump signed a peace treaty with several of the Muslim nations and with Israel. But of course, when Biden came in, then he totally eradicated this. But it was very important to see that the Antichrist can't come in. He has to make a peace treaty. Because of this, the peace treaty will have to do with building of the temple. Building of the temple in Israel. And many people believe that where the Dome of the Rock is, that is where the temple is supposed to be set up. Why is the temple so important? Well, it says that the Antichrist will go into the temple in the Holy of Holies and proclaim himself to be God. That's 2.5 years after he signed a peace treaty. He will betray Israel, and then eventually he will betray the whole world, and the whole world is going to come against Israel to destroy the Antichrist. And that is when Jesus is going to come back. So the temple is a key thing. And I don't think that President Trump's peace treaty had anything to do with the temple. So that is one thing that's missing. And the money. And the money, many situations. Because right now, with the physical money that we have, with the paper dollar bills, I know they're worthless, but still, people value them. So you can use them for money. And you can trade behind people's backs, but there's got to come in a system, and cryptocurrency kind of is introducing it. I don't think cryptocurrency will do it because it can still be used kind of behind the back. You can track it, but it's not centralized. That's the biggest problem with cryptocurrency. So there's got to be a centralized money system or credit system for the Antichrist to shut everybody down from buying and selling. And everybody will have to go with it. And somehow in the next few years, I believe they're going to force that on people, giving up paper money for whatever system they're going to introduce. And but the biggest thing that I want to push is that this delusion that we have of the American Dream is so bad, and that is why they've been able to do this to bring just about the whole world under lockdown. It's because people have stopped fighting. People are just sitting back after work. They go home and grab a beer or whatever, and sit in front of the TV. They're not trying to improve themselves. Once you have the job you want, you should try and keep improving. Once you have the job that pays for everything and will get you everything you need to do more than that. Like, we're built out of way more than just doing the same thing over and over and over again. So we need to keep fighting. We need to keep fighting and forget about the American Dream and get our rights back. Because we're losing our rights one piece at a time, and it's getting quicker and quicker and quicker. And another thing is that we have to teach the younger generation to do the same. I know that the public education system is it's not the best for our students. I know it's kind of mass education system, and you can't set people or can't individualize people because the system's too big. So we have to people have to teach your children. Take the time to teach your children. You'll probably have to shut off and get rid of the TV or whatever, or the internet. And spend time with your children and try and get your children to build character.